Congratulations on choosing Zojirushi Home Bakery. With your home bakery, you can bake a variety of fresh, healthy bread for you and your family whenever you want, even daily. Just minutes of preparation time are needed, even if you don't know anything about baking. With your easy-to-use Zojirushi Home Bakery, you'll be just like a professional, making delicious bread, pasta, Chinese dumpling wrappers, cakes, jams, and more. Wouldn't it be great to wake up to the smell of freshly baked bread every morning? Now, I'm going to show you how to use your Zojirushi Home Bakery. Let's begin with a quick tour of the part names and their functions. Hold on to the front part of the lid. You can then open the lid easily. Inside, you'll see the baking pan. To remove the baking pan, pull up the handle and gently rotate it to the left. The pan is released and you can lift it out. This is the kneading blade. With the flat side facing down, attach the kneading blade by matching its hole to the rotating shaft of the baking pan, just like this. Let it slide down securely. To insert the baking pan, just angle it slightly to the left. After putting it aside, rotate it gently to the right to lock it there. Make sure not to hit the heater. The brain of the home bakery is the control panel. Let's begin with the start key here, which turns the machine on and starts the process. This is the cancel key. Use this to cancel the process. This is the start light, which turns on while the home bakery is operating. This is the timer key. It allows you to set a baking completion time up to 13 hours after the current time. Use the course key to select your preferred course from the choices available. With the crust control key, you can select a medium or light crust. The display window gives you all the information you need to know for each of your selections. We'll talk more about that later. Your home bakery comes with measuring cups and a special measuring spoon. Use the measuring cups to measure water and other liquids. They're also used as the container for proofing active natural yeast. Accurate measurements are very important when using an automatic bread maker. This handy spoon measures 1 tablespoon on the large end and 1 teaspoon on the smaller end. You'll notice that both ends have a line around the middle. These lines indicate half a tablespoon and half a teaspoon respectively. That concludes our quick tour of the part names and their functions. Now, let's go over some basic safety precautions. To ensure that you'll have years of continuous use of your home bakery, you must follow a few basic safety precautions. Notice that the home bakery has a steam vent, this one here. In order for your unit to work safely, the vent must be clear. When using your home bakery, don't put it near walls or furniture. Be sure it's located at least 5 cm from walls or furniture. When making bread, your Zojirushi home bakery will be very hot during use and immediately after using it, so please don't touch it. And don't use your Zojirushi home bakery near flames or use it in damp areas. Never move your home bakery while it is in operation. When your Zojirushi home bakery is still hot, always use oven mitts. To disconnect your home bakery from the electrical outlet when it is in operation, first press and hold the cancel key until you hear a beep, and the start light turns off. Now you can remove the plug from the electrical outlet. Don't tug or pull directly on the cord. For all the other safety precautions, please read the important safeguards section of your instruction manual. Maintaining the safeguards will ensure years of continuous safe use with your Zojirushi home bakery. time to use your Zojirushi home bakery to bake your first loaf of bread. We're going to make a loaf of basic white bread. You'll find the instructions in the How to Make Basic Bread section in your manual. Open the lid of your home bakery and lift the handle of the baking pan. Gently turn the baking pan to the left. When you feel it's released, lift it out. Set the kneading blade onto the shaft in the baking pan and make sure it slides all the way down securely. Now, we are ready to measure the ingredients. Successful baking requires very accurate measurements. For liquid, use the measuring cups that come with your home bakery. To measure dry ingredients, use a digital scale. You may look at parts names and functions in your manual for measuring tips. First, let's measure water. Place the cup on a level surface and fill it to the amount required by the recipe. Check to make sure you have the exact amount. Pour the water into the baking pan. Now, we will add the flour our recipe calls for. It's best to use bread flour that's as fresh as possible. Following a recipe for basic bread in the recipe book, we'll add the ingredients in the order listed. First, we'll add sugar. Use the measuring spoon that comes with your home bakery. Next, we'll add dry milk, and then salt. Now, we'll add the unsalted butter. Finally, we'll add the dry yeast. It's very important that you use fresh yeast. Expired yeast may not do its job of making the bread rise. Check the expiry date on the packaging. Now make a small depression in the middle of the ingredients in the baking pan with a spoon, and add the yeast there. We do this so that the yeast doesn't come into contact with the liquid and fail to rise. Now, there are 3 ingredient layers here, with the liquid on the bottom, dry ingredients in the middle, and the yeast on the top. When making bread, dough, or cookies, we'll basically follow the same sequence. Now, take the baking pan by its handle. Rotate it slightly to the left. Gently lower it into the home bakery, and then rotate it to the right to lock it there. You'll feel that it has locked into place. Put the handle down, close the lid, and plug in your home bakery. Use the course key to choose number 1, Basic Bread Regular. This is the bread we're baking this time. When you press the Start key, a melody will sound, and your home bakery will begin the process. After you've pressed the Start key, sometimes the home bakery does not start kneading right away, which is not a malfunction. During the kneading process, a beep will sound. At this time, any ingredients you've put in the ingredient dispenser will be automatically added to the bread dough. Even if you have not attached the ingredient dispenser, when you hear the beep, the home bakery will at the same time produce some noise, which is not a malfunction. We won't attach the ingredient dispenser this time since we're just making basic bread. Please refer to the recipe book for ideas and recipes for truly original bread. Melody will sound to let you know that your bread is finished. But you already know that by the delicious aroma of freshly baked bread. It will continue to keep the loaf warm for 1 hour, unless the cancel key is pressed or the unit is unplugged. Put on oven mitts. Lift the baking pan handle, gently turn it to the left and lift it up. We recommend that you remove the bread immediately after it is done to prevent it from reabsorbing moisture and becoming soggy. We can easily remove the bread by shaking it out of the baking pan. If the bread is difficult to remove, rotate the joint part under the baking pan several times. Beautifully finished! Wasn't that easy? The only hard thing about baking bread in your home bakery is waiting for the bread to cool. Next, we'll learn how to set the clock. Plug in the power cord and use the time setting keys to set the current time. Each press of the time setting up key advances the time in 1-minute increments. Each press of the time setting down key reverses the time in 1-minute increments. To advance or reverse in 10-minute increments, just press and hold down the up or down key. The time display will stop blinking after 3 seconds, meaning you have set the clock. If 7 a.m. is blinking in the display window, then the battery needs to be replaced. To use the timer function and know when your bread will finish baking, be sure to set your clock. Next is the timer. The timer is used to program the home bakery to complete a process by a specific time. Maybe you would like to wake up to freshly baked bread in the morning. With the timer function, you can set the completion time in 10-minute increments up to 13 hours ahead. First, put the ingredients in the baking pan, starting with the liquid first. And remember, keep the yeast away from the water and the salt. Then place the baking pan in the home bakery. Press the course key to choose the course you want. You may take a look at course list in your manual for the courses you can select. Let's choose number 1 Basic Bread Regular. Press the timer key and the start light will blink. Now, use the time setting up and down keys to set the completion time. Press the start key and you will see the timer light turn on and hear a melody. When using the timer function, be sure that you're not using ingredients that can go bad, such as milk, juice, vegetables, and eggs. Sometimes we may want to bake faster. With your home bakery, you can bake delicious bread in just 2.5 hours using the quick baking course. The preparation is just the same as always. Use the course key to choose number 4, Quick Baking, and that's it. What if we would just like to make dough for bread, pizza, noodles, as well as Chinese dumpling wrappers and cookies? Zojirushi Home Bakery can do everything beautifully. Refer to how to make dough in your manual for instructions and refer to the recipe book for recipes. Prepare your ingredients as usual in your baking pan and then place it in your home bakery. Press the course key and choose the course. Press the start key, you'll hear a melody and the unit will start its process. When it's finished, you'll hear a melody again and see the word complete in the display window. Press and hold the cancel key. Open the lid and remove the baking pan. Then remove the dough. Remove the kneading blade if it comes out with the dough. Put the dough on a lightly floured surface and shape it as you like. Your Zojirushi Home Bakery can also bake delicious cakes. For cake instructions, refer to how to make cakes in your manual. Add the ingredients to the baking pan in the order listed in the recipe book. If you're using eggs, be sure to beat the eggs lightly before adding them to the baking pan. Now use the course key to choose number 13, the cake course. Use the crust control key to select the crust you prefer, and then press the start key. The home bakery will turn on and knead for 13 minutes. When it beeps after 13 minutes, open the lid and use a rubber spatula to gently scrape down any flour from the sides of the baking pan. If there are any additional ingredients you need to add, please do it now. When you're finished, close the lid and press the start key to resume the operation. Carefully remove the cake from the baking pan. Otherwise, the cake may break apart. You can buy fruit from the market to make healthy and delicious jam free of additives and preservatives. You'll be starting as usual. Refer to how to make jam in your manual and then add the ingredients in the order listed in the recipe book. When making jam, mash the fruit first. Put the baking pan in the unit and lock it into place. Use the course key to select number 14, the jam course. Press the start key. You'll hear a melody and the home bakery will begin its process. The jam will get very hot. When the process is completed, you'll hear a melody. Then you can remove the jam from the baking pan, using a rubber spatula or wait for it to cool down. Take care not to burn yourself. Your natural jam is unbelievably delicious. Could that be easier? Next, we'll proof active natural yeast to make natural yeast bread. Refer to natural yeast, proofing active natural yeast in your manual for the instructions. Pour water at a temperature of about 30 degrees Celsius into the measuring cup. Add the natural yeast and stir well. Cover the measuring cup with plastic wrap. Make several small holes on the plastic wrap using a toothpick. If the wrapped container is airtight, fermentation may not occur. The kneading blade and ingredient dispenser are not needed. Put the baking pan in the unit and lock it into place. Place the measuring cup in the baking pan and hang it onto the edge like this. Now, close the lid. Next, use the course key to select number 15, natural yeast activation, and press the start key. When you hear the completion melody, press the cancel key and remove the measuring cup. After proofing the yeast, put it in your refrigerator within 2 to 3 hours. Be sure to use it within a week. Use the proofed yeast to bake delicious natural yeast bread. The homemade course is an advanced feature that allows you to program each cycle separately, knead, rise, and bake, so that you can develop and fine-tune your own bread recipes. Refer to homemade course in your manual for details. But let me give you an overview of what you can do using the homemade course. This course allows you to shorten or lengthen your knead or rise times, turn off certain processes, or even use the bake process like an oven. To access and set up the homemade course, press the homemade key. The homemade light turns on. First is the knead 1 process. Press the homemade key again. Now you can use the time setting key to set the time for the knead 1 process. Press the homemade key to select the next process and to complete the rest of the course. Read your instruction manual for complete information on each process and their minimum and maximum time. Now press the start key to begin the process. The start light will turn on and the first process will begin. SHOPEE is a really great feature that allows you to make and bake specialty bread such as cinnamon rolls. With the SHOPEE setting, you take the dough out of the baking pan after kneading is complete. Shape the dough as you like. Return the dough to the baking pan and the home bakery will complete the baking. Not only are these delicious, they are also very easy to make. Please refer to the Baking Bread Like a Pro by Shaping Dough with Your Hands section in your manual. Simply speaking, when you are to make dough and then bake it in the home bakery, you need to use this feature. When using the home bakery again, if you press the homemade key, the previous total processing time will be shown on the display window. If you press the start key at that point, you can make bread using the previous settings. As you can see, Using this advanced home bakery, there are a lot of things you can do. Create your own recipes and enjoy using the home bakery. Now, you know all the features of the home bakery. Treat it well so that you will have many years of delicious baking ahead of you. Remember to read the instruction manual thoroughly for maintenance and safety information. There is a non-stick coating on the inside of the baking pan and on the kneading blade, so don't scratch them with abrasive cleaners, scouring pads, hard nylon sponges, or metal brushes. Don't wash the joint part under the baking pan with water. On the other hand, don't immerse the pan in water or run it through the dishwasher. There are other important cleaning and maintenance tips in your manual, so please be sure to read them. Doing these simple things will ensure years of happy baking with your Zojirushi home bakery. You may have questions if your baking does not produce satisfactory results. In that case, your manual contains a very comprehensive troubleshooting guide for the most common problems. Thank you for watching.